Okay, so right now I'm at the raised beds and I'm doing an experiment. I have I don't even know how you pronounce this though. What is that? The Wero Kawaii. It's an indeterminate tomato plant that I got from the seeds from my gardener. And these tomatoes, even though they're indeterminate, they only get to be 3 or 4 feet tall. So what I have here is the 4x8 vego raised bed, 17 inches tall. And because I have incredible animal pressure, I keep my everything covered. So this is also the 4x8 cover system. It does not have the irrigation, also from Vego. And what I'm going to do is, if you see here, the cover system frame has arches that go all the way across the bed. And I'm going to take advantage of that and use that to basically trellis these 2 tomatoes. And I'm doing this as an experiment. And what I did was I tied a piece of string from one part of the frame to another section of frame. And then I have the roller hooks for trellising tomatoes from Amazon. I forgot where I got these from. But I mean, I already have a ton of these. So I'm just gonna hang that up there and suspend my string all the way down to the soil and plant my tomatoes in here. I'm doing this as an experiment because I wanted to see, can I grow a trellising tomato under the cover? Because we have herds of deer that come through here, rabbits, raccoons, chipmunks, squirrels, groundhogs, moles, voles, even turkey, geese. Everybody in the animal kingdom lives here apparently. They all want to eat my stuff. So if I can grow a type of tomato that I like and keep it covered, then I can actually have my tomato. So I'll pause you guys for a moment. I'll plant these in the space and I'll bring you back. All right, so I've hung my hook to this temporary line I've created and we'll follow it all the way down. You can see I've got the rest of the excess string buried in the hole. I've dug my hole and I just put a bit of, again, the My Gardener, their all-purpose fertilizer in there. I would also put some, I have some calcium that I could put in there, and I could even add some bone meal to this hole, but I forgot to bring all of that with me over to this area. So I will add some to that at a later time. So now I'll go and put in the tomato plant. All right, so there we are. There's my tomato plant all planted up. And you see the string here. And another thing I forgot to bring, I just forgot everything today, were my tomato clips so that I can clip it to the string and then clip that to the stem of the tomato. It's kind of like a C clamp, if you will. And it has a groove, the perfect size for this white tomato string. And then the rest of it fits snugly right around the tomato. And then as the tomato grows up, I'll add a few more clips to keep it going along the string. And I might even be able to pull the string a little tighter, but it's securely buried in the dirt along with the root ball. All right, it's definitely got a lot of friends in here. I've got tons of onions and shallots growing in here. I've got sprouting broccoli, I've got cauliflower, collard greens, got some radishes growing in there. So it's got a lot of company. So we'll see how this does. In a month or so, these onions will be ready to come out. They're already beginning to bulb up. So I can't wait for that. Oh, and I've even got turnips over there in that corner. So I can't wait to check back in with you guys to show you the progress. Hopefully this works. All right, and we're all planted up. I got my 2 strings in there for my 2 tomato plants strung up. And this is a better view of the chaos that is this raised bed. So we'll see. This entire bed is one big colossal experiment, growing onions in here alongside with any and everything else. And we'll see what was a winner at the end of the season. So I was going to call it a day, but I took one look at my bell peppers, and they have actual bell peppers growing on them that are like an inch and a half. So I decided to come out and move on to my other GreenStalk and get them started. So this is what one of last year's GreenStalks looks like at the end of the season. It even still has a stem in the bottom. Looks kind of dried out. And what I do is, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I'll either break the tiers apart, dump the dirt out, add some more dirt to it, mix it all together, worm castings if it needs it, perlite. But in this particular case, because I'm tired, I don't feel like that. So in that case, what I do is I take about half a scoop of worm castings, put in each pocket, and then I use, and I'm trying to do this with my left hand, my garden fork here, and I just go and break up the dirt. Now this dirt is already mostly loose because this is full of really good quality potting soil. And at the end of the season last year, I did pull all the roots, the root balls, out of each of the pockets. I think in this one I grew broccoli. Or I cut them at soil level and left the roots in here and it broke down. It just depended on what kind of mood I was in or how I felt that day. Because if I didn't feel up to it and my body wasn't up to it, then I cut it at the root and left the roots in the soil. And that's pretty much what I do. If it's really, really low in terms of the soil level, there is, I don't know if you can see, a line, or there used to be a line in some of the older GreenStalks that they want you to fill the soil up to that line. But now it says, I don't know if you can see that, fill to the top. But when you're putting a plant in here, if you fill to the top, you're just going to end up having to take soil out in order to get the plant in. So in this case, it's still pretty full. I won't bother adding soil. I've already put in the worm castings and mixed it all around. And then I will drop my bell pepper plants in here. Now the question is, how many bell pepper plants am I going to put in here? Technically you can put one per pocket, but they do grow to be rather large plants. And I don't know, I'm thinking I might do every other pocket with bell pepper plants. I've got 3 tiers available. At the very, very top, I've got dwarf tomatoes up there, dwarf cherry tomatoes. I think it's Tiny Tom tomatoes. Love those. They are so good. So that leaves me with 3 tiers that I can put bell peppers. And then the bottom tier, I am going to put cucumbers next week and add a plant support for those. So I'm going to get these started and then I'll be back. All right, and there we are, all planted up. We've got the Tiny Tim tomatoes, dwarf tomato on the top, cherry tomato, and then ultimately I had so many bell peppers, I decided to go ahead and plant one in each pocket. So we'll see how they do. So I've got 3 tiers of bell peppers, and like I said in the bottom, eventually, probably next week, I will plant out cucumbers. And these bell peppers, I have a mix. I have the Hostinator red, a Hostinator yellow, and orange. I've got a sweet bell pepper from Botanical Interest. And then I have your traditional like Keystone bell pepper. I believe those seeds came from In My Gardener. All these plants were started by seed. I think I started them sometime in March, like maybe the beginning or middle of March. And this is what I was talking about. In the little seed starting cell, I already had a bell pepper that is just growing like gangbusters. So I decided to go ahead and get these in. It is going to be a little cooler tonight. They say we're going to get down to about 45. I do have a crop cover to cover them up and keep them warm. Although I really don't think that they will need it. It's only going to stay 45 for like maybe an hour. And then it will shoot up to 47 and then on higher. And I do believe that these have already been exposed to 45-degree temps, and it hasn't really seemed to phase them. So I think they're going to be okay. See, I've got another bell pepper there on a different plant. And that's another bell pepper there. And interestingly enough, it's the Hasinator bell peppers that are putting out all these peppers compared to, and those are F1s compared to, like, for example, the Keystone, which is like an heirloom variety, which I think is what's over here. Although they do have flowers on them. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for watching.